Firstly, I fail to understand what is the point of waiving the constitution at election meetings and going on saying that the Prime Minister has not read the constitution. I don't understand what is the point to be made out of it. This, as if Mr. Gandhi himself understands the constitution. The constitution is a complex document. It is a manifestation of the will of the people of India. And the most important feature of the constitution, which is the heart and soul of the constitution, is democracy and parliamentary form of democracy. This means that the people of India, their will expressed by a humble vote is supreme. It can throw out any party, any leader. It can bring in any party, any leader of any color or hue. And if democracy flourishes, the constitution flourishes. This election or earlier elections is a resounding vote in favor of the constitution, which is in favor of democracy. It is a vote, I think, for stability and for development. It's actually a vote in favor of the Prime Minister. It's a vote for the BJP. The other two allies happen to be there. But it's clearly a slap on the face of the Congress, who is talking about some kind of constitutionalism without understanding that it is democracy which thrives within the constitution.
Say, Mr. Rohatgi, that BJP has successfully sent that message that when it comes to working within the framework of the constitution, it has been doing so. And adding to that, sir, that these victories suggest that voters do not perceive a threat to the constitution and they prioritize other agendas above this alleged fear.
As I told you, Mara, I don't understand what is the fear. What is it that the Prime Minister has done which kind of portrays that they are stomping over the constitution or trying to crush the constitution? I don't see anything. Whether it is repeal of Article 370 or whether it is some other provisions, etc., they have been done in a legal manner. The Supreme Court has put its stamp of approval on deletion of Article 370. And whatever the government did which was wrong, the Supreme Court has come down upon it. Take, for example, the issue of electoral bonds. The Supreme Court said that that scheme was not correct because, it tends to favor people who would be giving money to buy these bonds, etc. So ultimately, the court is the final arbiter of what is constitutional or what is illegal or contrary to the constitution. So when the matter is taken before the court rules upon it. But what is it in the public field or in this election fever to allege by waiving the constitution like this, the pocket edition of the constitution, that the Congress party is for the constitution and the BJP is not for the constitution? If you go back to history, the blackest period in our democratic nation was the period of emergency, where all the rights guaranteed under the constitution were sought to be suspended. That, I think, was the most anti-national, anti-constitution era or events that occurred. How is it for a party which did all this to come forward and say, no, this is what is going on is anti-constitutional? I fail to understand.
One nation, one election, one point that is being made repeatedly is a move which will be seen as anti-constitution. That's what India Bloc members seem to suggest, sir. Another point is that abrogation of Article 370 was seen as anti-constitution. Various institutions are being compromised as per the opposition. That's the charge that is coming against this government. Do you think all that doesn't really hold now? And if the if democracy is functioning in the manner in which it is functioning, with people coming out and casting their votes and voting for a particular party, does it mean that it's people are fearful of this government, and hence, I don't know, I mean, I'm just trying to understand, as a legal eagle, how do you look at this entire narrative war against Constitution?
Let me start with your second question first. The question of deletion of Article 370. Now, people who were opposed to the deletion took up the matter to the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court has resoundingly upheld what the government and parliament did in revoking Article 370, in deleting it. So then that's the end of the matter. I mean, you have to abide by what the Supreme Court does. That's the final authority. And secondly, please don't forget, and I'm telling your viewers, Article 370 was meant to be a temporary provision. That temporary provision lasted 75 years. And how long can this go on, that people of one state are dealt with separately as compared to people of other states? The right to move around freely, the right to buy property in any part of India, except, like hill states and all that. Those are rights which are guaranteed to people of India. How could this discrimination go on? And this discrimination ultimately led to J&K not being as developed as its neighbors, to this onslaught of terrorism, stuff like that. So to bring it into the mainstream, I think it was a great move. Nobody was willing to touch it like a hot potato. The Prime Minister did it and the Supreme Court affirmed it. So that's now closed and dusted. One chapter is over. Now let us come to the second point which you raised first. Namely, one election, one nation. Now let's forget the Constitution. The Constitution did start by saying, and it still does say, that the states and the center will have elections. Every state will have an election. Every panchayat will have an election. Every corporation will have an election. Every cooperative society will have an election. So there are several scores of elections in this country. What does that mean? It means that politicians at every level of every body in elections will perpetually be in the election mode. They will perpetually be asking people to cast votes, and that will be their only agenda for the whole of 5 years. If that was to happen, now look at what will happen to the people. Who will be working for the people when those who want to work or who desire that they should be in politics will forever be begging for votes day in and day out? Who will be responsible for lakhs and crores of wasteful expenditure in elections at every time, every month, every 6 months? So obviously, I mean, I don't find any parallel in the world where a nation is perpetually, in some mode of election or not. So therefore, I mean, we have had this situation for 75 years. We have seen how it has worked. The Constitution itself allows change, Maria. The Constitution is not cast in stone. There is a provision in the Constitution, namely Article 368, which provides that the Constitution can be amended. It has to be amended and it has to be elastic to meet the needs of the time. The times are changing. I mean, we didn't have social media in 1950. We didn't have internet. We hardly had any TV. It was only newspapers. All that has now changed. I mean, I am on TV, on Zoom just now. So all this has changed. Things change. Issues of national security change. The Constitution is therefore adept at changing. It provides a procedure by which it can be changed. So these changes have to be brought. And I mean, I don't understand that fear that you're talking about. I mean, what is that fear? It's supposed to be a secret vote. If there is a tyrannical government, people can throw out a tyrannical government by casting their vote, which is secret. You look at, as I said, emergency. In 1977, Congress, which had ruled from 1950, there was nothing else. on the horizon, the people got together and chucked out the Congress with a resounding majority. It brought in the Janata Party. And mind you, within 3 years, it brought back Mrs. Gandhi after she lost by a 2/3 majority. And then, things have been changing. So the weapon of votes is a very, very strong weapon. It's a secret weapon. It is no, no less than the atom bomb. So I don't understand what is that fear. Fear would be if somebody is being asked to cast a vote in front of somebody and show that you are going to put your stamp for a particular party. That is tyranny or fear. I mean, it's all very well to say all this, but
my last question to you, sir. There is often this charge that is leveled against the central government that it doesn't, respect the principles of federalism, which is so, integral to constitution, that it doesn't respect what state governments want or their rights.
See, some amount of tussle between the governments and the center, because they are of different hues, will always arise. Charges of being partisan will always arise. But then there are courts. Courts are available even for state governments. State governments challenge many things of the center in courts. I have seen that. I have seen cases of states versus states, states versus center, and all that. Courts are there to provide relief. And what people basically want is either development or roti kapda or makan. I mean, as long as these things are going on and there is freedom to speak, the courts have upheld the issues of liberty. The courts have upheld the principles of bail. If somebody is, you look at Mr. Soren. Now he won against the BJP. Maybe it was a vote against the BJP they had because of two reasons. One, that they had jailed him, and second, this this propaganda of infiltration, etc., etc. Maybe, as a non-political figure, I think these were two reasons. So where the BJP was wrong, the votes have been cast that way. Where people expect from the BJP, they cast their votes that way. That's about wrong.
Mr. Rohatgi, pleasure speaking to you, sir. Thank you for joining us on NDTV. Mukul Rohatgi, former Attorney General of India, speaking about this entire narrative of constitution in danger, saying that the biggest test is in people's court. Democracy is the biggest, asset of our constitution, and that is being protected through the democratic exercises which are continuing. And if people can go and cast their votes, the manner in which they do here in India, is the biggest celebration of the constitution. On 26th, the government of India will be celebrating Samvidhan Divas. Today, the Parliamentary Affairs Minister spoke at the NDTV India conclave. Let's listen in to that.
2015 में संविधान दिवस मनाने का कार्यक्रम तो शुरू हुई है, लेकिन आप सबको तो मालूम है शायद इसमें जितने बैठे हुए हैं, 2010 में मोदी जी ने गुजरात में जब मुख्यमंत्री थे तो संविधान यात्रा निकाला। मुझे उतना पता नहीं था कि उसमें प्रधानमंत्री जी ने हम लोगों को बताया नहीं, क्योंकि वो मुख्यमंत्री थे। लेकिन बाद में पता चला कि गुजरात के अंदर में गाड़ी में संविधान किताब रख करके खुद मुख्यमंत्री पैदल आगे चले। वो संविधान जागरण यात्रा था। जिस पवित्रता से मोदी जी ने संविधान को अपना जीवन का हिस्सा माना है और संविधान को किस तरीके से बचा के रखना है, ये सारे सुनने के बाद मैं हमारा देश में बाबा साहब अम्बेडकर के बाद सोच भी नहीं सकता हूँ कि कोई ऐसा नेता या कोई ऐसा नागरिक हमारे देश में और है जो संविधान को इतना भावनात्मक इज्जत देते हैं और सम्मान करते हैं। हमारा देश में संविधान को बदलने का जो कोशिश किया वो खुद बदल गए हैं।
That is something that's going to take, we hear a lot of that also in winter session, which begins tomorrow. Prime Minister Narendra Modi yesterday at the BJP headquarters, while delivering that victory speech to the BJP workers, did talk about how there is a great degree of duplicity in Congress's this entire narrative of constitution in danger. Let's listen into that, and also what Rahul Gandhi has been saying with regards to the Constitution.
आज महाराष्ट्र के जनादेश का एक और संदेश है। पूरे देश में सिर्फ और सिर्फ एक ही संविधान चलेगा। वो संविधान है बाबा साहब आम्बेडकर का संविधान, भारत का संविधान। जो भी सामने या पर्दे के पीछे देश में दो संविधान की बात करेगा, उसको देश पूरी तरह से नकार देगा।
इस किताब के अंदर क्या लिखा हुआ है, इसीलिए प्रधानमंत्री जी के लिए यह संविधान खाली है। वो कहते हैं कि लाल रंग का संविधान राहुल गांधी दिखाता है। देखिए इस पर क्या रंग है, नीला है, लाल है, हमें कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता। इसके अंदर जो लिखा है उसकी हम रक्षा करते हैं, उसके लिए हम जान देने को तैयार हैं।
Let me bring in my colleague Akhilesh, who's joining us live. Akhilesh, I think the Prime Minister's speech has set the tone of how it will be all playing out in the winter session that begins tomorrow. The Prime Minister going all out to say that Congress Party's constitution in danger narrative has no takers.
But of course, the BJP now says this because in Maharashtra, the narrative which was propagated by the Congress party and the opposition parties during the Lok Sabha elections, now BJP believes that the people of Maharashtra have, replied to this narrative that there's no such danger to the constitution. In fact, BJP has been saying for a very long time now, since the Lok Sabha elections, that this was the fake narrative propagated by the Congress party and other opposition parties. But interestingly, when Prime Minister Devendra Modi himself comes out and says it very clearly after the Maharashtra results are out, where the BJP has scored not only a hat-trick but also a very impressive victory. And that shows very clearly that how the BJP is now all out to counter this narrative that the constitution is in danger. And that is why in our conclave today, in NDTV India's conclave of constitution, various leaders, including Mr. Ravi Shankar Prasad, replied very categorically that their constitution is not in danger at all. It was a fake narrative which was propagated by the Congress party, and the people of Maharashtra and also of Haryana have replied it very resoundingly, because in these two assembly elections, Maria, SC, ST and OBC, they voted in favor of the BJP. It was believed that during the Lok Sabha elections, these votes had, been shifted away from the BJP, but now the BJP has been able to bring them back. And in fact, Maria, I was listening to your conversation with Mr. Rohadgi just a short while ago. It was a fascinating conversation where Mr. Rohadgi was very clear that in democracy, the weapon of voting is the ultimate weapon which every voter has. So it shows very clearly that how this narrative has not found many takers as far as this constitution is in danger narrative is concerned.
All right, Akhilesh, continue to be with us. Let's bring in other guests also. Shiv Sena, national spokesperson of the BJP, is joining us. We also have Arshpreet Kadial, national spokesperson of the Congress. Arshpreet, beginning with you, of course, the Congress went all out to talk about constitution in danger. In certain states, we did see it resonate with the voters, and that's the reason why the BJP faced setbacks, particularly in Maharashtra during the Lok Sabha polls. Now that the BJP is back and how in these elections, will you accept that shelf life of that narrative is done? It's over.
Well, if that's the logic that we are going by, we have also won Jharkhand. So will the Bharatiya Janata Party agree to this, that they are a threat to the Constitution of India, that they are a threat to our democracy, that they are a threat to the reservation? And I'll give you many, many examples of how the Bharatiya Janata Party is a threat to the Constitution of India. Let's start with the Chandigarh Mayor poll, where the Honorable Supreme Court had to intervene and say that murder of democracy happened, where the presiding officer was caught on camera. Then we saw the example of how IT, ED, CBI was misused. We've all seen how the conviction rate's gone down. We've all seen how Narayan Rane, Suvendu Adhikari, Mukul Roy, etc., Himanta Biswa Sarma, when they joined the Bharatiya Janata Party, the cases go silent. We've all seen how the Operation Lotuses have been happening, undermining democracy, the votes, the constitution. Goa, Maharashtra, AP, MP, Manipur and whatnot. Then we can talk of the electoral bonds. I want to ask this question to the Bharatiya Janata Party spokesperson. Did the Bharatiya Janata Party make or not make 16,000 crores of political funds through electoral bonds, which were later on declared to be unconstitutional by the Honorable Supreme Court? Then the exclusion of the Chief Justice of India from the selection committee of the Chief Election Commission. I mean, the Bharatiya Janata Party, the Honorable Supreme Court said that the CJI is to be a part of the selection committee, and the Bharatiya Janata Party bypasses it, circumvents
All
it,
right, Ashpreet,
and
you
does
made
away
your
with
point.
the
Let
CJI.
Tuhin respond to that now.
Well, good evening, Maria. Good evening, everybody. In recent years, Rahul Gandhi, the way he talks, to the electorate, flashing the constitution in his hand, makes it very obvious that he knows nothing about the constitution. He talks about redistribution of wealth that is not promised in the constitution. The constitution promises equality in the eyes of law. All his chief ministers talk about, especially Revant Reddy, was brazenly talking about Muslim reservation. He has no clue that is not mentioned, that has no provision, that provision is not contained in the constitution. If I go back in history, which ideally I did not want to, they have violated Article 356 90 times. They have supposedly rigged elections in Jammu and Kashmir in 1987. One of the core reasons why the militancy went out of hand immediately after that. So the Congress party has no locus standi to talk about the constitution. But yes, the very fact that they spread all kinds of canards, all kinds of falsehoods, attributing it to a violation of the constitutional ethos by the party amounts to the Congress party not respecting the constitution. I was hearing Mukul Rohatgi ji very, very closely, and he has given an absolute clean sheet to the government. There are cases. Have we not respected the Supreme Court verdict on the electoral bonds? We have respected it. We have not passed an ordinance like the Congress would do. Most of the times it was in government when, including in the Shah Banu case. So I think, the Congress needs to grow up. This Congress party is out of sync with reality. It does not know anything about the constitution. I think it needs to focus on real issues. And had it focused on real issues, the results may have been slightly better in Maharashtra.
If I may.
Yes, go ahead, Ashpreet.
See, not a single answer to all the allegations that were leveled against the Bharatiya Janata Party. I hope the viewers can see not one rebuttal of all the things that I pointed out, 7-8 examples. Let's go to the next example. We all saw how the bulldozer politics have been happening, how houses are being bulldozed, how some people are becoming judge, jury, and executioner in themselves. Then we've also seen the remarks, batenge to katenge remark, which is unconstitutional to the very core of itself. And then we also saw the remark by the Honorable Prime Minister, the statement which said, जिनके बच्चे ज्यादा होते हैं घुसपैठी घुसे हुए हैं, thousands of complaints were filed with the Election Commission of India. We want to know what logical conclusion did they reach out to.
Why didn't you challenge all those statements in the court then?
Well, should the Bharatiya Janata Party not do the same? The gentleman from the Bharatiya Janata Party said, what if
as a journalist, I want to understand, since you are saying that these
Can
are
I just quickly rebut?
If I may,
take those statements to the court. And if it is in the framework of what is allowed in the election commission, it will be allowed. Otherwise, it will be an action that will be taken.
I'll answer your question. First and foremost, this is not the domain of the court. This is the domain of the Election Commission of India.
Absolutely.
Let's have that clear. Number one.
Yes,
Number two,
I'm aware of that.
If I may. So there's no point going to the court because the court won't intervene since it's the domain of the Election Commission of India.
Election Commission should be sitting on that. Ashpreet, what I'm talking specifically
you would allow
is
me
this.
to complete, please.
After the Lok Sabha polls, the Congress and India bloc went to town saying that their argument has takers because the BJP could not reach the majority mark on its own. Yet they formed the government because they were at 240 plus their alliance partners.
Now
my question is that if you are being rejected in the People's Court, and as Mr. Mukul Rohatgi said, that the biggest messaging that comes from a constitution democracy, a democracy which is governed by the constitution, is that people exercise their right, a democratic right to cast their votes. And in this, it is secret ballot. There is no pressure or compulsion which is under which an individual functions.
Answering a question. First and foremost, you talked of the Congress party being done away with. What about the Bharatiya Janata Party being done away with in Jharkhand? Number two, in Karnataka, we swept the election. In Punjab, the Bharatiya Janata Party won 0 seats. In the Lok Sabha of Punjab, 13 seats, 0 seats the Bharatiya Janata Party won. By polls, again, the Bharatiya Janata Party won 0 seats. In Kerala, we all saw how Priyanka Gandhi ji won with a difference of more than 4 lakh votes. So that's one. Number two, I want to ask this question to the Bharatiya Janata Party. What possible problem could you have with the CGI being a part of the selection committee, which was supposed to choose the chief election commissioner?
Tuhin, respond to that, yes.
I will respond to everything. First of all, the fundamental lack of understanding of the Congress party. They've raised many issues. Allow me to raise
Mr.
many
Advani
issues.
was the first person to have questioned the EVM. Mr. Advani was the first person to have questioned the EVMs.
No, because the VVPAT, there was a reason for that. The VVPAT was introduced subsequently. At that point of time, there was no VVPAT. And after the VVPAT corroboration has been introduced, we have not once questioned it. But yes, in the election that we questioned it in 2000, please allow me to answer now. Please allow me to answer. You've had your word. In 2009, the only election where we questioned, there were gross anomalies, including Mr. Chidambaram's election being challenged after many ups and downs, even in his election result. After that, when VVPAT was introduced, we have not once raised any aspersions on the elections because we believe in the scientific evidence provided by VVPAT corroboration. Now, coming to the other point, I think this is exactly what the Congress is not able to understand. If we respect a court ruling on the electoral bonds, a violation of constitutional ethos would be when we bring an ordinance against the Supreme Court ruling, like the Congress used to do in its era. Respecting the Supreme Court verdict equally on the bulldozer of politics shows that we have utmost faith in the judiciary. But yes, they will always be against bulldozers being used against criminals, because Congress and Samajwadi Party, these parties have been traditionally pro-criminals. They have actually abetted crime in Jharkhand.
Okay, before Ashpreet, you come in, I want to understand this from a political analyst in Akhilesh. Akhilesh, you heard from both the sides. This is something that is not going to die down. And many would say that this is almost like a pet subject of Rahul Gandhi. He has been pursuing it relentlessly. This gave some electoral success to the Congress party. Of course, after this setback, it's not that they are ready to give it up.
I think so. I think you are right, Maria, that the Congress will continue to pursue this line of thinking that the Constitution is in danger. And also because they think, especially Mr. Rahul Gandhi thinks, that the promise to break the ceiling of 50% reservation will help it to get the OBC votes once again in its fold. This is what Rahul Gandhi believes, and that is why he continues to talk about the caste census. But the government sources are indicating very clearly that the census is going to begin next year is unlikely to include the caste column in the census rolls. So BJP now clearly says very clearly that the narrative which was set by the Congress party in during the Lok Sabha elections has been replied by the voters. So the Congress party continues to raise this issue. BJP believes that now people have understood that there's no such danger. And because it has come directly from the Prime Minister Narendra Modi himself, he has said it very clearly that the no power on the earth can take away the reservation. This was very categorical statement given by Prime Minister Narendra Modi. And as far as the Constitution is in danger, narrative is concerned, PM Modi yesterday said it very clear that till few years back, there were 2 constitutions in India, but now the NDA government has made it sure that there is only one constitution. He referred to the Jammu and Kashmir Article 370 and also said very clearly that no power on the earth can bring back the Article 370. So on this issue, I think the BJP now believes that it has clearly replied to this narrative, and that's why people have understood it. And now we have seen also, Maria, that how the BJP government in Haryana has actually implemented the Supreme Court judgment about the subcategorization of the scheduled caste category. This was the first major decision by Naib Singh Saini government, and BJP, I think, will continue to go on this path as far as the states are concerned.
Ashpreet, the point that was made by the Prime Minister yesterday and reiterated right now by Akhilesh was that yes, before 2014, and the intent was, of course, of the BJP government that they wanted to do away with Article 370, which gave that special status to Jammu and Kashmir. Now there is one constitution governing the entire country.
Well, number one.
From Kashmir to Kanyakumari.
Number one. Let's talk of Article 14, right to equality. Has the Bharatiya Janata Party subjected everyone to equality? Has the Bharatiya Janata Party's MPs, leaders subjected everyone to equality? A BJP MP in the parliament called a fellow MP a terrorist. What action was taken against him? Was that equality? Was that right to life and personal liberty? Was that freedom of speech and expression? What do we expect from the Bharatiya Janata Party when their leaders make such statements and they go scot-free? Number two, the gentleman from the BJP said that the Congress has a problem with criminals' houses being bulldozed. ADR, as per the Association of Democratic Reforms report, the Bharatiya Janata Party's leaders have the maximum amount of cases pending against them. Should all their houses be bulldozed? Is there a fault of the family members of the Bharatiya Janata Party's leaders? And would you say the same thing for them? I mean, the Bharatiya Janata Party has no logic to offer, saying that if a person is under trial, bulldoze his house, and because he's under trial, he's also a convict. Is their logic is something that the people cannot understand? I want to ask him one thing. The gentleman from the BJP said, supposedly you rigged an election back in the day. Supposedly is the word he used. It's the operative word. I want to ask him this question. What of the Vinod Tavade case, wherein 3 FIRs have been registered? And I want to ask him, was there a video or not that circulated which supposedly showcased him distributing money? Yes or no? This is my question to him. And next is VVPAT. The gentleman from the Bharatiya Janata Party said VVPAT has come, it has corroborated everything. I want to ask him what of the counting of the VVPATs? Is the BJP in favor of counting of VVPATs or is it against it?
Yeah, first for the Vinod Tavreji issue, the 9 lakhs which was found from the premises where he was. It was not found from him. That and this is exactly why Rahul Gandhi and Karyeji are facing defamation cases. If you still don't, and the number of defamation cases that Rahul Gandhi is facing across the country might be over 20, because if you don't use your words responsibly, that is what will happen. Now, there was another thing that you had asked. If you could repeat, I would be happy to answer.
He spoke about VVPAT.
VVPAT. When have we protested against the VVPAT?
So in favor
when have we protested against every constituency? In every constituency, there are a certain number of polling booths from where VVPATs are collected, and the votes are tallied. We have always been in favor of that. Absolutely. Post 2010, 2011, it is the Congress which has always raised aspersions instead of focusing on its own performance. The BJP, the only occasion where we had raised a concern was in 2009 because of the vast anomalies in the results, which was also later many of which also went to court.
Tell me one BJP leader who has spoken on record that we support the counting of VVPAT.
No, what are you talking? Have we ever cast aspersions on the EVM? Where are you taking the debate?
It's not about aspersions. It's about content.
You are the ones who cast aspersions on EVM. You are the ones who cast aspersions on EVM, and you are asking me to give a certificate to the VVPAT. Have we ever raised apprehensions? Have we raised ever raised concerns on EVM?
What possible problem does the Bharatiya Janata Party
Maria, this is the problem.
I'm giving to you because we have seen how this issue is going to only play out more in the upcoming winter session. But do you think we'll be seeing a united opposition function on this issue? Or do you think that issue of constitution in danger was all right for a Lok Sabha election? It will not have many takers in assembly elections going ahead.
Well, I think the Congress party has to listen to the regional parties now, because yesterday also we have seen that how the Trinamool Congress reacted on the results of Maharashtra. They are saying very clearly that only the regional parties have the capacity and caliber to fight the BJP, because the Jharkhand, in Delhi or in West Bengal, the regional parties have successfully countered the BJP. This is what the argument is being given by the regional parties. As far as the constitution is in danger narrative is concerned, day after tomorrow is going to be the Constitution Day, 26th November. And this is going to be a big function there. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will address the joint sitting of Parliament, the Samvidhan Sadan, the Central Hall of the Samvidhan Sadan, the old Parliament building. So this is where, on that occasion, we will see the BJP coming himself from Prime Minister himself, the counter to this narrative by the Congress party. So the BJP is not going to be on a defensive as far as this constitution issue is concerned. Party is very clear that in the past 10 years, they have not done anything which can raise any doubt as far as their intention as far as the constitution is concerned. And they are very clear that the reservation will continue. This promise has been repeated by Prime Minister himself on various occasions. And the results of Maharashtra and Haryana are basically the moral booster for the BJP, and also the by-election results of Uttar Pradesh. BJP believes now that the OBC votes and the SC/ST votes, which had drifted away from the party during the Lok Sabha elections, now they have come back because now they realize that there is no such thing which is going to happen which will take away their constitutional right of reservation.
All right, Akhilesh, thank you so much for joining us. Shiv Sena and Ashpreet Kadial. Shifting focus and staying with Maharashtra, after Mahayuti's historic win in the state, posters of Fadnavis, Devendra Fadnavis, were seen all over Maharashtra. The Prime Minister called him Nagpur's gift to the country. From corporator, he is likely to be, will he be the next Chief Minister as he was in 2014? Here is a report on the man of the moment, Devendra Fadnavis.
मेरा पानी उतरता देख मेरे किनारे पर घर मत बसा लेना। मेरा पानी उतरता देख मेरे किनारे पर घर मत बसा लेना। मैं समंदर हूँ, लौट कर वापस आऊंगा।
The ultimate comeback man of Maharashtra, Devendra Fadnavis. The architect of the BJP and Mahayuti's historic victory. It's been a meteoric and dramatic climb up the political ladder for Devendra Fadnavis. From a corporator to becoming the youngest mayor of Nagpur to the first BJP Chief Minister of Maharashtra. And he looks all set to occupy the state's top post for the third time. He, although, maintained that the coalition will decide the next Chief Minister.
सीएम पद के ऊपर कोई भी विवाद यहाँ नहीं होने वाला, क्योंकि पहले दिन से ये तय है कि चुनाव जब संपन्न होगा तो चुनाव के बाद तीनों पार्टियां मिलकर इसको तय करेगी।
उम्मीद से ज़्यादा कुछ मिला है?
उम्मीद थी बहुत अच्छा होने की, बहुत अच्छे से थोड़ा और अच्छा हुआ है, बहुत खुशी है। और इसके लिए कारण है हमारे भाजपा का एक एक कार्यकर्ता केडर, इसके लिए कारण है महाराष्ट्र, लाड़की बहनें जो जाग उठी, महाराष्ट्र जाग उठा और उन्होंने सोचा कि प्रगति किधर है वहीं हम जाएंगे और उधर मतदान करके उन्होंने ये रिजल्ट दिया है।
In a state dominated by Maratha politics and politicians, the 54-year-old Brahmin leader with deep roots in the RSS has carved his own space. Son of Jan Sangh and later BJP leader late Gangadhar Fadnavis, whom his fellow Nagpur politician and former party chief Nitin Gadkari called his political guru, Devendra Fadnavis cut his teeth in politics at a young age when he joined ABVP in 1989. At 22, he became a corporator in the Nagpur civic body and its youngest mayor in 1997 at the age of 27. Fadnavis contested his first assembly election in 1999 and won. There was no looking back for him as he won 3 subsequent assembly elections. He currently represents Nagpur Southwest seat in the House. Unlike many leaders across the political spectrum in Maharashtra, Fadnavis has remained untainted by accusations of corruption. After Uddhav Thackeray demitted office following the large-scale desertions in the Sena, many thought that Fadnavis would become the chief minister. However, the BJP leadership had other plans, and a reluctant Fadnavis swallowed the bitter pill to become the deputy CM.
मैं आधुनिक अभिमन्यु हूँ, चक्रव्यूह को भेदना जानता हूँ, हमने चक्रव्यूह को भेदा है और ये कोई मैं पहले भी कह रहा हूँ, वापस कह रहा हूँ, इस विजय में मेरा बहुत छोटा उसमें मैं समझता हूँ कि सहभाग है। एक ये हमारी जो पूरी टीम है, इस टीम ने इस विजय को लाया है।
Devendra Fadnavis arose as one of the younger, more clean, leaders in the BJP, but he is not universally acknowledged as everybody's leader in the BJP. Quietly, BJP leaders, I spoke to many who have become MPs, quietly they do accept that he is the only person who can keep the BJP together.
In Maharashtra.
In Maharashtra.
Fadnavis has enjoyed the confidence of both Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Home Minister Amit Shah.
मोदी जी ने जो नारा दिया था, एक है तो सेफ है, इस नारे को यथार्थ में लाते हुए महाराष्ट्र के सभी समाज के सभी लोगों ने एकता दिखाते हुए महाराष्ट्र में मतदान किया है और इसके कारण ये इतनी अच्छी जीत हमको मिली है.
At an election rally earlier, Prime Minister Modi had said Devendra Fadnavis is Nagpur's gift to the country. Fadnavis's first tenure as the Chief Minister was characterized by a combination of good governance and effective political maneuvering. He also brings in the urban and young voters closer to the BJP.
As the BJP and Mahayuti celebrate their historic victory, Devendra Fadnavis stands as the man of the moment. In fact, as Mahayuti gears up for the road ahead, all eyes on Fadnavis as he is the man of comebacks in this highly complex political environment of the state. With video journalist Mahesh Halwai, this is Radhika Ramaswamy for NDTV.
The other contender for the Chief Minister's post is Eknath Shinde, presently the Chief Minister of Maharashtra, and he has had a very inspirational journey. Remember, he has settled the legacy debate within the Shiv Sena as well, and for him, CM stands for Common Man Chief Minister.
The Maharashtra elections weren't just about winning the state, it was also a prestige battle between Uddhav Thackeray against Eknath Shinde. This election was an opportunity for them to settle the debate of who actually led the Shiv Sena. Was it Uddhav Thackeray or Eknath Shinde for the Shiv Sena? From auto rickshaw driver to Maharashtra Chief Minister, Eknath Shinde's journey has been quite inspiring.
असा मुख्यमंत्री म्हणून माझी कामे यथायोग्य पार पाडण्यासाठी आवश्यक असेल ते खेरीत करून.
Born in Satara district, Eknath Shinde's political journey wasn't a meteoric rise. His political journey began in 1980s when he was introduced to politics by Anand Dighe, the then Thane Shiv Sena president, when he emerged as a prominent Labour leader. Eknath Shinde's success in local politics paved the way for his entry into the Maharashtra Legislative Assembly and held several key positions. First elected to the Assembly in 2004, he was appointed as the Thane district head of Shiv Sena a year later. Over the years, Eknath Shinde's political influence continued to grow with his re-election in the Assembly in 2009, 2014 and 2019. From 2014 to 2019, he served as the Minister for PWD and was also the Guardian Minister of Thane district. He was later appointed as the Minister for Public Health and Family Welfare in 2019 and also served as the Minister of Urban Development and Public Works and Acting Minister of Home Affairs in late 2019. Once again, Eknath Shinde is at the forefront with Mahayuti winning the Maharashtra elections, scripting history.
ईवीएम का देखो, अभी झारखंड में ईवीएम अच्छा है क्या? झारखंड में, कर्नाटक में ईवीएम अच्छा था. जब भी अभी वो लोग पहले जब जीतने के बाद बोलते ईवीएम अच्छा है, इलेक्शन कमिश्नर अच्छा है, वो लोग तो सुप्रीम कोर्ट तक तो उनको सलाह मशवरा देते हैं उनको. वो जो यंत्रणा उनके बाजू से मतलब उनके फेवर में रिजल्ट आते अच्छी है. अभी तो वोटर लिस्ट पे भी उन्होंने ऑब्जेक्शन लिया था. तो जब हार जाते हैं तो बोलते ये यंत्रणा खराब है, जीतते तो बोलते अच्छा है. ऐसा कैसा है?
Things turned turtle when in 2022, Eknath Shinde led a revolt within the Shiv Sena, pushing for a breakup of the Mahavikas Aghadi and a re-establishment of ties with BJP. This episode had witnessed a lot of drama with allegations of horse trading and betrayal coming from the Uddhav faction. However, with the support of 40 MLAs, Shinde with top BJP leaders were successful in forming the government, and the Balasaheb loyalists taken the CM's chair from the Thackeray's side. Eknath Shinde was sworn in as the 20th Chief Minister of Maharashtra in June 2022, with BJP's Devendra Fadnavis as the Deputy Chief Minister. After assuming the Chief Minister's post, Eknath Shinde staked claim to the party name and symbols, feuding with Uddhav Thackeray. The matter was taken to court, and the Election Commission of India recognized Shinde's faction as the official Shiv Sena. Under Eknath Shinde's leadership, the Shiv Sena managed to win only 7 seats during the 2024 Lok Sabha elections. The Uddhav Thackeray-led faction, on the other hand, won 9, hinting at a potential political renaissance ahead of the assembly elections. Now, with a massive win, Eknath Shinde and other Mahayuti leaders have credited the Ladki Bahin scheme and development work. But with BJP's stunner performance, all eyes are on what will be in store for Eknath Shinde. NDTV Bureau Report.
Hello, Moto.
Motorola Edge 50 Pro, world's first AI-powered pro-grade camera.
Hello and welcome to India Sense, where I speak with global opinion makers.
The United States has made a strategic decision over the last 20 years to move closer to India.
So a $7 trillion economy seems a perfectly conceivable number.
If you want to be a national party, it's that you sort of accept the way the world is rather than want to endlessly hark back to how it was.
Modi is promoting the digitization of the economy, which is accelerating growth in the country.
Cashback has flow, करते नहीं impress. Life would easy, कितना कुछ free, only with single ID. ये भी free, वो भी free, कितना कुछ free, only with single ID. Get it free with single ID. कितने सारे apps से मुझसे जुड़े, brands मेरे पास है सबसे बड़े. Get it, get it, get it, get it, get it, get it, get it. Only with single ID. Get it free with single ID.
Download any single ID partner app, link your card and earn rewards with top brand.
Get it free with single ID.
Hello and welcome to India Sense, where I speak with global opinion makers.
The United States has made a strategic decision over the last 20 years to move closer to India.
So a $7 trillion economy seems a perfectly conceivable number.
If you want to be a national party, it's that you sort of accept the way the world is rather than want to endlessly hark back to how it was.
Modi is promoting the digitization of the economy, which is accelerating growth in the country.
It's a web of frauds, calls, luring emails, threatening messages. Cyber frauds have cast their net wide and everyone is at risk. We track the victims, their horror stories as they get conned online, extorted and robbed of their hard-earned money. How to identify a cyber fraud and how to stay cyber safe. What are your options?
And day one of IPL auction, there has been big win for Indian players. Rishabh Pant, Shreyas Iyer and Venkatesh Iyer go for big numbers, being the most expensive players in the history of IPL alongside Yuzvendra Chahal and Arshdeep Singh. They were in fact sold to Punjab for 18 crores. So what is the big takeaway of day one? Rika is joining us live. Rika, over to you.
Thank you very much, Maria. Well, it has been a season of Iyers, as one would say. Firstly, it was Shreyas Iyer going for a whopping figure of 26.75 crore. He became the highest paid player at the IPL auction. And then Rishabh Pant shortly after overtook him as Lucknow Super Giants decided to pay him 27 crore rupees. Of course, the auction dynamics are tricky. It was expected that Rishabh Pant will go for a huge sum of money, and the fact that CSK is going to gun for him, but CSK did not enter the bidding war for Rishabh Pant. However, there was a substantial war that lasted for over a very long time. Finally, Rishabh Pant going to Lucknow Super Giants for 27 crore rupees. The other big winner of the day has been Venkatesh Iyer. Kolkata Knight Riders looking a bit desperate for him and then snapping him up finally for 23.75 crore rupees. KL Rahul has been bought by Delhi. It seems now at least 3 franchises are looking at their new captains. KL Rahul for Delhi, Rishabh Pant for Lucknow, and Shreyas Iyer perhaps for Punjab. Chennai Super Kings, of course, did very conservative buys. They are trying to get back the core of their team. They have bought back Ravi Ashwin, you've mentioned Yuzvendra Chahal, and Arshdeep Singh, the other 2 big buys of the day for 18 crore rupees.
All right, Rika, thank you so much for getting us all the details of day one of the auction. With that, it's a wrap from me. I'll be joining you in just a bit. Thanks so much for watching.
Hello, Moto.
Motorola Edge 50 Pro, world's first AI-powered pro-grade camera.
हम ये चुनाव विकास के मुद्दे पर लड़ रहे हैं.
Let them come for an open debate with me. I've challenged Eknath Shinde multiple times.
Congress is in the worst situation in this state.
महायुति में भी इससे ज़्यादा dispute है.
Everything is fair in love and politics.
वोट देने वाले ही जिताने वाले हैं ना.
So we worked on 4 options.
I've been reporting on all issues, big and small, from Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, rest of South India, bringing you all the action, all that you need to know, all that you want to know.
The energy of Maximum City is infectious. I bring in that energy in our news coverage from financial capital Mumbai.
India's IT capital is always buzz. It's literally a city that never sleeps. And I keep you ahead on all the Bengaluru buzz.
Covering from the southernmost part of India over the last 23 years, I bring
in-depth and 360-degree coverage from the Dravidian heartland.
The land of Mishti is also known for its bitter politics. I have seen much water flow under the Howrah Bridge, covering Bengal in all its vivid colors.
In today's interconnected world, India's voice is more crucial than ever. When India speaks, the world listens. At NDTV World, we are that voice, bringing you intelligent and insightful news from India and beyond. From geopolitics and diplomacy to economic shifts, migrations, tech disruptions, and the stories of our diaspora. We cover the news that shapes our global future. NDTV World, your new home for global news, is here.
I now request the Honorable Prime Minister to launch NDTV World and address the summit.
It was the grand launch of NDTV World by Prime Minister Narendra Modi. NDTV World, as he laid out his vision for the India century at the NDTV World Summit.
ऐसी सदी जिसमें भारत के प्रयासों से दुनिया में स्थिरता आए.
In the presence of those who are shaping our future.
मेरी तरफ से आपको ढेर सारी शुभकामनाएं हैं.
NDTV World, your new home for global news, is here. Stay informed and entertained with the new and updated NDTV News app. You can watch all our channels live, listen to podcasts, read breaking and exclusive news from around the world and more. Download the NDTV app today and get
All eyes now on new Maharashtra government formation. Maha huddle after the mega victory. NCP and Shiv Sena hold meetings in Maharashtra. Who will be the next chief minister? Hemant Soren meets Jharkhand governor and stakes claim to form the government, swearing in on November 28th. Hemant Soren elected as the leader of the India bloc in Jharkhand after meeting with JMM leaders. BSP chief Mayawati alleged irregularities including fake voting in recent Uttar Pradesh by-polls, expressing concerns over the use of the EVMs. She announced her party will not contest any by-elections until Election Commission takes strict measures. Speaking at the Constitution Summit of the NDTV, Union Minister Kiran Rijiju says Prime Minister has been protector of Constitution and Modi push for Samvidhan Divas. Rishabh Pant sold to Lucknow Super Giants at 27 crores. Pant smashes all auction results. Rishabh Pant overtakes Shreyas Iyer as the most expensive player. Islamabad locked down ahead of protest by Imran Khan's party amid stringent measures put in place by the Pakistani government to thwart the protest on Sunday 24th. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Ankit Tyagi. After Mahayuti's stellar performance in Maharashtra, a series of meetings are taking place today in Mumbai. NCP meet is over, where Ajit Pawar has been elected as the legislative party chief of the NCP, Ajit Pawar. Meanwhile, the meeting of the Shiv Sena Shinde faction is also in fact taking place to elect their leader. Now, remember, these parties are meeting at the time when all eyes on who will be the Chief Minister of Maharashtra after the BJP was able to win 133 seats and the Mahayuti romped home in power, in fact, winning to more than 230 seats in the state of Maharashtra. Now, at this moment, speculation is rife whether the Mahayuti will continue with Mr. Shinde as the Chief Minister, or is it going to be Devendra Fadnavis?
सब जानना चाह रहे हैं कि मुख्यमंत्री पद को लेकर क्या बातें फाइनल हो गई है, शपथ ग्रहण कब हो रहा है, कुछ जानकारी जो जनता को आप देना चाहेंगे।
देखिए, लोकसभा का चुनाव हुआ और उसके बाद विधानसभा का चुनाव हुआ। जो वातावरण लोकसभा के चुनाव में था वो वातावरण विधानसभा के चुनाव में बिल्कुल उल्टा था। और भारतीय जनता पार्टी है, राष्ट्रीय पार्टी है, जो भी कोई निर्णय लेना होता है वो वरिष्ठ नेता के राय मशवरे से लिया जाता है। हम अलायंस में चुनाव लड़े महाराष्ट्र में और 3 पार्टियों का अलायंस है। 23 पार्टी का अलायंस भी था हमारा जब अटल जी प्रधानमंत्री थे। तो ये अलायंस का चुनाव था। अब भारतीय जनता पार्टी विधिमंडल पार्टी की मीटिंग बुलाएंगी, अपना जो नेता है विधिमंडल नेता उसको चुनाव करेगी, वही प्रोसीजर राष्ट्रवादी करेगी, वही प्रोसीजर शिवसेना करेगी। अपना अपना नेता चुनने के बाद तीनों नेता साथ साथ बैठेंगे और जो हमारे वरिष्ठ नेता है उनको बताएंगे कि हमारी ये राय है, और जो हमारे वरिष्ठ नेता फैसला करेंगे वो निर्णय हम सब लोग मिलकर मान्य करेंगे।
लेकिन जो चुनाव के नतीजा आने के बाद मुख्यमंत्री एकनाथ शिंदे ने कहा कि जिसके ज़्यादा विधायक उसका मुख्यमंत्री, ऐसा कुछ बात तय नहीं हुई है। एक इशारा कर रहे कि उनके पास ही कमान रहनी चाहिए, लेकिन बीजेपी के कार्यकर्ताओं की जो भावना है वो ऐसा दिख रहा है कि लगातार तीसरी बार 100 से ज़्यादा विधायक अगर दिए पार्टी को तो इस बार मुख्यमंत्री बीजेपी का होना चाहिए। आपको क्या लगता है?
देखिए, भावना तो मेरी भी है। भारतीय जनता पार्टी का कौन कार्यकर्ता ऐसा है जो ये नहीं चाहता कि मेरे पार्टी का मुख्यमंत्री बने, लेकिन ये भावना मेरी है भी। तो क्या मेरे मन में जो है वो होने वाला है? ऐसा नहीं है। हमारे पार्टी के वरिष्ठ नेता जो निर्णय करेंगे वो सही निर्णय करेंगे, और ये निर्णय करने का अधिकार हमें नहीं है, वो हमारे नेताओं को है। ये तीनों पार्टियां साथ में बैठ के जो निर्णय करेगी वो हमारा मुख्यमंत्री होगा।
Let me now bring in my colleague Anuj, who is tracking all the developments in Maharashtra at this moment. Anuj, just bring our viewers a sense of the politics which is taking place at this moment behind the scenes for the Chief Minister's post, because that at this moment is the million-dollar question. Is it going to be Eknath Shinde who will continue, or is the BJP with these numbers giving zero elbow room to Ajit Pawar and Eknath Shinde?
You know, that is the major question, especially since yesterday, because we see that after the Mahayuti got a clear majority in the Vidhan Sabha election, they were, the power dynamics were very clearly distributed there. All the 3 parties did exceedingly well, and that means that Ajit Pawar's chances of becoming the chief minister became very slim, considering that the best chance that Ajit Pawar faction had was if Mahayuti as a whole was a little weak, and then Ajit Pawar faction would have helped them with some crucial seats. But that been out of picture. The 2 contenders here for the top post are Devendra Fadnavis and Eknath Shinde, and both of them have got good reasons to claim the stake with the strongest possible reasoning. As far as Shinde Shiv Sena is concerned, they've time and again reiterated it while talking to the media or even otherwise that it was not necessarily decided earlier before the election that the party with the majority number of MLAs will be getting the chief ministership. What they're trying to do with such a reasoning is that they are making a very sly point about how the Bharatiya Janata Party, regardless of it getting 133 seats, does not originally or automatically qualify to have their own chief minister. And a very strong reasoning they have behind supporting Eknath Shinde to be the chief minister again is because they believe that it is under the leadership of Eknath Shinde that they went on to win the election with this big, huge majority. But now it will be very crucial to see how the next 24 hours will turn out to be, because we're seeing that a meeting was expected to happen of the Bharatiya Janata Party with the, of the Shinde Sena MLAs with the chief minister. But as of now, that does not seem to be happening. And a meeting would soon be underway at Varsha, where the CM and the 2 DCMs would meet together, and in all likeliness would also travel to Delhi to finalize the things in a short while.
Thank you for joining us with all those details. My colleague Anuj reporting there from Mumbai. Moving on, in fact, after the Mahayuti's mega victory, Devendra Fadnavis has thanked the people of Maharashtra. He has written a letter and essay, bow down to the people. In fact, Maharashtra has showed complete trust in Mahayuti and people's real architect of this victory of the Mahayuti. Meanwhile, there are posters now in Maharashtra from the Fadnavis, in fact, supporters all over the state. The Prime Minister called him Nagpur's gift to the country. From corporator, he is likely to become the Chief Minister again. Devendra Fadnavis, the man who became the Chief Minister twice, one full term, one for a few days, is now all set and his eyes firmly on the CM's post.
मेरा पानी उतरता देख मेरे किनारे पर घर मत बसा लेना। मेरा पानी उतरता देख मेरे किनारे पर घर मत बसा लेना। मैं समंदर हूँ लौट कर वापस आऊंगा।
The ultimate comeback man of Maharashtra, Devendra Fadnavis. The architect of the BJP and Mahayuti's historic victory. It's been a meteoric and dramatic climb up the political ladder for Devendra Fadnavis. From a corporator to becoming the youngest mayor of Nagpur to the first BJP Chief Minister of Maharashtra. And he looks all set to occupy the state's top post for the third time. He, although, maintained that the coalition will decide the next Chief Minister.
सीएम पद के ऊपर कोई भी विवाद यहाँ नहीं होने वाला, क्योंकि पहले दिन से ये तय है कि चुनाव जब संपन्न होगा तो चुनाव के बाद तीनों पार्टियां मिलकर इसको तय करेगी। उम्मीद से ज्यादा कुछ मिला है?
उम्मीद थी बहुत अच्छा होने की, बहुत अच्छे से थोड़ा और अच्छा हुआ है, बहुत खुशी है। और इसके लिए कारण है हमारे भाजपा का एक एक कार्यकर्ता केडर, इसके लिए कारण है महाराष्ट्र, लाड़की बहनें जो जाग उठी, महाराष्ट्र जाग उठा और उन्होंने सोचा कि प्रगति किधर है वहीं हम जाएंगे और उधर मतदान करके उन्होंने ये रिजल्ट दिया है।
In a state dominated by Maratha politics and politicians, the 54-year-old Brahmin leader with deep roots in the RSS has carved his own space. Son of Jan Sangh and later BJP leader late Gangadhar Fadnavis, whom his fellow Nagpur politician and former party chief Nitin Gadkari called his political guru, Devendra Fadnavis cut his teeth in politics at a young age when he joined ABVP in 1989. At 22, he became a corporator in the Nagpur civic body and its youngest mayor in 1997 at the age of 27. Fadnavis contested his first assembly election in 1999 and won. There was no looking back for him as he won 3 subsequent assembly elections. He currently represents Nagpur Southwest seat in the House. Unlike many leaders across the political spectrum in Maharashtra, Fadnavis has remained untainted by accusations of corruption. After Uddhav Thackeray demitted office following the large-scale desertions in the Sena, many thought that Fadnavis would become the chief minister. However, the BJP leadership had other plans, and a reluctant Fadnavis swallowed the bitter pill to become the deputy CM.
मैं आधुनिक अभिमन्यु हूँ, चक्रव्यूह को भेदना जानता हूँ, हमने चक्रव्यूह को भेदा है और ये कोई मैं पहले भी कह रहा हूँ, वापस कह रहा हूँ, इस विजय में मेरा बहुत छोटा उसमें मैं समझता हूँ कि सहभाग है। एक ये हमारी जो पूरी टीम है, इस टीम ने इस विजय को लाया है।
Devendra Fadnavis arose as one of the younger, more clean leaders in the BJP, but he is not universally acknowledged as everybody's leader in the BJP. Quietly, BJP leaders, I spoke to many who have become MPs, quietly they do accept that he is the only person who can keep the BJP together.
In Maharashtra?
In Maharashtra.
Fadnavis has enjoyed the confidence of both Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Home Minister Amit Shah.
मोदी जी ने जो नारा दिया था, एक है तो सेफ है, इस नारे को यथार्थ में लाते हुए महाराष्ट्र के सभी समाज के सभी लोगों ने एकता दिखाते हुए महाराष्ट्र में मतदान किया है और इसके कारण ये इतनी अच्छी जीत हमको मिली है।
At an election rally earlier, Prime Minister Modi had said Devendra Fadnavis is Nagpur's gift to the country. Fadnavis's first tenure as the Chief Minister was characterized by a combination of good governance and effective political maneuvering. He also brings in the urban and young voters closer to the BJP.
As the BJP and Mahayuti celebrate their historic victory, Devendra Fadnavis stands as the man of the moment. In fact, as Mahayuti gears up for the road ahead, all eyes on Fadnavis as he is the man of comebacks in this highly complex political environment of the state. With video journalist Mahesh Halwai, this is Radhika Ramaswamy for NDTV.
Eknath Shinde is one of the top contenders for the Chief Minister's post. We bring you his journey, in fact, as an auto rickshaw driver to the post of the Chief Minister of Maharashtra.
The Maharashtra elections weren't just about winning the state, it was also a prestige battle between Uddhav Thackeray against Eknath Shinde. This election was an opportunity for them to settle the debate of who actually led the Shiv Sena. Was it Uddhav Thackeray or Eknath Shinde for the Shiv Sena? From auto rickshaw driver to Maharashtra Chief Minister, Eknath Shinde's journey has been quite inspiring.
असा मुख्यमंत्री म्हणून माझी कामे यथायोग्य पार पाडण्यासाठी आवश्यक असेल ते खेरीत करून.
Born in Satara district, Eknath Shinde's political journey wasn't a meteoric rise. His political journey began in 1980s when he was introduced to politics by Anand Dighe, the then Thane Shiv Sena president, when he emerged as a prominent Labour leader. Eknath Shinde's success in local politics paved the way for his entry into the Maharashtra Legislative Assembly and held several key positions. First elected to the Assembly in 2004, he was appointed as the Thane district head of Shiv Sena a year later. Over the years, Eknath Shinde's political influence continued to grow with his re-election in the Assembly in 2009, 2014 and 2019. From 2014 to 2019, he served as the Minister for PWD and was also the Guardian Minister of Thane district. He was later appointed as the Minister for Public Health and Family Welfare in 2019 and also served as the Minister of Urban Development and Public Works and Acting Minister of Home Affairs in late 2019. Once again, Eknath Shinde is at the forefront with Mahayuti winning the Maharashtra elections, scripting history.
ईवीएम का देखो, अभी झारखंड में ईवीएम अच्छा है क्या? झारखंड में, कर्नाटक में ईवीएम अच्छा था. जब भी अभी वो लोग पहले जब जीतने के बाद बोलते ईवीएम अच्छा है, इलेक्शन कमिश्नर अच्छा है, वो लोग तो सुप्रीम कोर्ट तक तो उनको सलाह मशवरा देते हैं उनको. वो जो यंत्रणा उनके बाजू से, मतलब उनके फेवर में रिजल्ट आते अच्छी है. अभी तो वोटर लिस्ट पे भी उन्होंने ऑब्जेक्शन लिया था. तो जब हार जाते हैं तो बोलते ये यंत्रणा खराब है, जीतते हैं तो बोलते हैं अच्छा है. ऐसा कैसा है?
Things turned turtle when in 2022, Eknath Shinde led a revolt within the Shiv Sena, pushing for a breakup of the Mahavikas Aghadi and a re-establishment of ties with BJP. This episode had witnessed a lot of drama with allegations of horse trading and betrayal coming from the Uddhav faction. However, with the support of 40 MLAs, Shinde with top BJP leaders were successful in forming the government and the Balasaheb loyalists taken the CM's chair from the Thackeray's side. Eknath Shinde was sworn in as the 20th Chief Minister of Maharashtra in June 2022 with BJP's Devendra Fadnavis as the Deputy Chief Minister. After assuming the Chief Minister's post, Eknath Shinde staked claim to the party name and symbols, feuding with Uddhav Thackeray. The matter was taken to court and the Election Commission of India recognized Shinde's faction as the official Shiv Sena. Under Eknath Shinde's leadership, the Shiv Sena managed to win only 7 seats during the 2024 Lok Sabha elections. The Uddhav Thackeray-led faction, on the other hand, won 9, hinting at a potential political renaissance ahead of the assembly elections. Now, with a massive win, Eknath Shinde and other Mahayuti leaders have credited the Ladki Bahin scheme and development work. But with BJP's stunner performance, all eyes are on what will be in store for Eknath Shinde. NDTV Bureau Report.
Now, India parliamentary floor leaders, met Congress President and LOP Chief Rajya Sabha, Mallikarjun Kharge. This is for the Parliament, which is going to start, the winter session, which is going to start tomorrow at 10 a.m. This meeting is going to take. This is going to be a key India bloc meeting ahead of the Parliament session tomorrow, when at 10 a.m. all these leaders from the India bloc, which are going to meet at Mr. Kharge's residence ahead of the winter session of the Parliament. This will also set the tone and tenor of the upcoming Parliament session and the issues opposition is going to raise. Meanwhile, Hemant Soren, who has emerged as the king of Jharkhand after his impressive victory in the recently concluded elections, met Jharkhand governor to stake claim to the government. In fact, the swearing-in ceremony is going to take place on November 28th. Jharkhand has been a big victory and a solace for the India bloc. Mr. Soren met JMM leaders, the MLAs at his residence, and was elected as the leader of the parliamentary party, has the support of the Congress and the RJD, which will also be part of the government in Jharkhand.
प्रक्रिया में आज राज्यपाल महोदय के पास हम लोगों ने अपना वर्तमान सरकार से इस्तीफा देते हुए आगामी सरकार की गठन की रिक्वेस्ट और निवेदन और दावा हम लोगों ने पेश किया है महामहिम जी के समक्ष, और उन्होंने हमें कार्यवाही मुख्यमंत्री का भी जिम्मा सौंपा है और सरकार बनाने का न्योता भी उन्होंने हमें दिया है।
मैं झारखंड का कार्यकर्ता को करीब से मैंने मेरा देखने का सौभाग्य हुआ। झारखंड का जनताओं से खूब मिले। मैं आज भी समझता हूं कि घुसपैठियों का जो समस्या है वो आने वाला दिन में झारखंड को बहुत ज्यादा क्षति पहुंचाने वाला है। मैं झारखंड का सरकार को निवेदन करूंगा, आपका सरकार है, लेकिन घुसपैठियों को झारखंड से निकालना या कम से कम उनको शिनाख्त करना हमारे संविधान प्रदत्त जिम्मेदारी होते हैं। मेरा विश्वास है झारखंड का सरकार ये जिम्मेदारी का निर्वहन करेगा।
Meanwhile, Prime Minister Modi, in fact, took part in the Odisha Parva celebrations, celebrating the culture of Odisha. Prime Minister, in fact, on this occasion said these celebrations took place in the national capital, and Union Minister Dharmendra Pradhan was part of these celebrations as well. Prime Minister said congratulations to everyone from Odisha on the occasion, and Odisha has got investment worth 4,500 crores under the BJP government.
सबको और ओडिशा के सभी लोगों को ओडिशा पर्व की बहुत बहुत बधाई देता हूं। ओडिशा में नई सरकार बनते ही पहले 100 दिनों के भीतर 45,000 करोड़ रुपए के निवेश को मंजूरी मिली है। आज ओडिशा के पास अपना विजन भी है और रोड मैप भी है।
Let's now talk about the IPL auction action. Big win for Indian players. Rishabh Pant, Shreyas Iyer and Venkatesh Iyer have gone for the big numbers. In fact, they have been the most expensive players in the history of the IPL auctions. alongside Jaswendra Chahal and Arshdeep Singh, who were sold for 18 crores to Punjab. In fact, Rishabh Pant was sold at staggering 27 crores and Shreyas Iyer just a little less than that in 26.4 crores. Let me go across to my colleague Rika Roy, who's joining us with more details at this moment. Rika, these are mind-boggling numbers. 27 crores for Rishabh Pant. He's in Australia, but he has more than one reason to celebrate.
That's right, and I must say that this has been a day, if not the season of Iyers. First it was Shreyas Iyer, who was picked up by Punjab for a whopping 26.75 crore rupees. Who would have thought him being left out of the KKR team, not retained, going into the auction pool and picking up such a big fat purse, and Punjab going all out for him, and then we saw he became the highest paid player from the auction, and then he was surpassed by Rishabh Pant, who was picked up for 27 crore rupees by Lucknow Super Giants. Yes, it is an unexpected sum, but everyone was expecting Rishabh to breach the 25 crore mark that was touched by the Australian players during last auction. 27, even the owner of Lucknow Super Giants said, was a little bit more than what they had budgeted. They had budgeted 26 for him, but clearly they did not step back when they were getting him for 27 crore rupees. The other big buy of today's auction has been Venkatesh Iyer. KKR looking desperate to get this all-rounder for 23.75 crores, making him the highest paid all-rounder from IPL auction. It seems after almost half a day, at least 3 teams have got their captains. Perhaps Delhi has a captain in KL Rahul. Punjab has a captain in Shreyas Iyer, and Lucknow's captain could be Rishabh Pant. Of course, Chennai focused a lot on getting players back from the auction pool. They have got the 2 Kiwi players, Rachin Ravindran, Devon Conway. They also got Ravi Ashwin back. So several interesting changes that are happening this time around. But I must mention that David Warner, who has been one of the biggest fixes of IPL, roughly from the time IPL began, has gone unsold so far. Glenn Maxwell, who was called the Big Show, was sold for only 4.2 crore rupees. It could be a surprise to many, but that's what it is.
Thank you so much, Rika, for joining us with all those details at this moment. All right, that's all the time that we have in this edition. News and updates continue here on NDTV. Stay tuned.
Hello, Moto.
Motorola Edge 50 Pro, world's first AI-powered pro-grade camera.
All eyes now on new Maharashtra. Maha huddle after the big victory. NCP and Shiv Sena hold meetings in Maharashtra. The key question, who is going to be the next chief minister? Hemant Soren meets Jharkhand governor. Soren takes claim to form the government, swearing in on 28th of November. Rishabh Pant sold to Lucknow Super Giants at 27 crores, smashes all auction records. Islamabad lockdown ahead of protest by Imran Khan's party. Stringent measures taken by the Pakistani government.
NDTV proudly upholds its legacy of trust and credibility. According to the prestigious Reuters Institute's Digital News Report 2024, NDTV is the top-most news platform in the country. Number 1 in both online and offline reach in India. Beating all its competition, NDTV stands for trust.
and welcome to India Sense, where I speak with global opinion makers.
The United States has made a strategic decision over the last 20 years to move closer to India.
So a $7 trillion economy